Batwoman Season 2, Episode 18, titled Power. And this episode is the final episode of the season. And it is not a good episode to wrap up. It is not a good episode at all to wrap up. Because what it is essentially is like 3 episodes getting jammed into one and in a not good way. It felt like they wanted more time. It felt like they had all these ideas for the finale and all these threads that needed to be like tied, and it just felt so rushed, or felt there's no pace. They felt like there's a random action sequence of Ryan and Alice and let's say Team Batwoman fighting these thugs, like saving this guy from like getting mugged or something. And it just felt out of place. It felt like I was like, oh, by the way, there's an action sequence. And I'm like, whoa, time out, context. I know you gave me some context with the whole Black Mask telling half of Gotham to wave and wear it and burn buildings and wreck cars and shops and all kind of stuff. I get that part, but not so much. Not so much on the whole that sequence. I don't really get it. It's like, the stuff with Luke becoming Batwing, I'm like, that's an episode itself. With the whole, the guy who shot him, the Crow officer who shot him a few episodes, he becomes basically Bane. He is ejected by Venom. He is all steroid hungry. He's all about, where's my snake bike, where's it, wrecking shop and killing people, all that kind of stuff, chasing people, and and have Luke becoming Nightwing, find that guy. I'm like, that's the episode itself. You do it like earlier this season, or you could have wait till next season. It didn't fit in this episode, and that's the thing. I get it. You want to have your walk on moments. You want to go, oh my god. You want the Scream rock concert moments for your finales, right? But it does not fit. Like, to the point I was like, yeah, this is like 3 episodes. 3 episodes. If you wanted, I'm like, even Supergirl kind of did the smart thing in season 2, where it was like 2 episodes at least, like a 2-episode invasion. I'm like, that was, for season 2, that was a smart thing to do, because it gave more time to breathe and gave you, in a way, you're having a set 1 episode finale, you're getting 2 episodes, a 2-part finale in a way. And even the ending, like the whole thing of like Kate coming back, you're like, yay, Kate's back, cool, great, now let's do this Batman World thing. But the ending felt so like, wait, what? We just got you back and now you're leaving? Like, I understand the reasons. Like, okay, you're trying to find Bruce. Where's Bruce? You're gonna go to National City. Meet Kara. Explain why you have a different face and voice, and then and all that kind of thing. But it just felt like, what was the point? What's the point making a big deal? Kate is back, and then now she's gone. Unless I'm going to, like, if we assume next season's another 22 episode season, I can expect maybe they'll do like 11 episodes, or like 11 episodes with Ryan, 11 episodes with Kate. In a way, it's Batwoman. It's Batwomen. It's a Batwoman, even though woman will be in the title of the show, just because of branding. But yeah, it's just, it felt so washed together. It felt like even the hinting for the next season and tying up the emotional ends of it felt it could easily be episode itself. Do a little bit of Game of Thrones. It just wasn't that good and wasn't handled as much. It's interesting talking about this season, mainly because we all know I had ups and downs. I ranted and raved and gave suggestions, which was always weird. Where like this was a show where you're like like a show where you're like, you give suggestions and you rant and talk about your negatives, and then the stuff that you say you could fix it like this, they do it, and you're like, okay, couple possibilities. One, they listen to me, like they heard me and say, oh, this kid has good points, which I'm some smack online. I understand that part. Two, great minds think alike, or my fears came true. I think let's take the fears came true because that's like bottom to the high. Am I excited to see Ivy on the big see a live action version of Poison Ivy? Yes, I would love to see a good version of the character. Because and I squealed. I was like, oh my god, doing Ivy next season, but because the last time we saw her, for the general public, I understand the character wasn't Gotham, but actually Poison Ivy. The last time the audience saw her, Batman and Robin were bidding on her. So, which was Batman and Robin. So, that wasn't the greatest point of life. So, them hitting Poison Ivy with like plants moving and kind of like vines moving to a certain direction, I'm psyched on that part. It just felt, it's just like, it started not good and it's ended not good. And in the middle half, it kind of felt like it had its shape, it felt its story, it felt like they had an identity of what the story was going to be. But yeah, this episode wasn't that appealing and lush, and it felt all this kind of stuff. Now it's done. So what my Mondays are going to be or Sundays are going to be, I have no idea. Absolutely, I have no idea what my Mondays are going to be. May I complete